So, we left on page 163, the section Level Up Your Squad. He took training from Taylor Swift, and then she disbanded, so he stopped listening to her. Anyways, on the negative front, researchers have found that bad behaviors and outcomes such as smoking, obesity, loneliness, depression, divorce, and drug use tend to grow in social clusters. If your friends smoke, you probably will too. The more of your friends who are overweight or divorced, the higher your odds you'll get there too. So the more of your friends that are lonely, the more lonely you'll be, but couldn't you be together and then you wouldn't be lonely? I don't know about this. Likewise, positive things such as happiness and pro-social behavior also seem to spread within social groups. For example, if you have a friend who is happy in life, your chances of feeling happy will go up by 25%. Oh my god. Researchers have even noted that expertise and world-class performance in music, soccer, art, baseball, tennis, and other fields happen in clusters. This contagion effect is usually relevant up to 3 degrees of separation. Ooh, that's better than the 6 of Kevin Bacon. This means that it's not just your friends and family who can affect you. Research shows that your friends exert an influence. So do your friends' friends. Where's the square? The friends. Within each degree of separation, the effect of your environment becomes less, with non-significant effects beyond 3 degrees of separation. This is why it's so important to carefully curate who's in your social circle. Of course, we can't always determine who's in our circle, especially when we're young, which is why so many people have poor behaviors today. They had bad influences. Those who grow up in homes with major household dysfunction, example, divorce, drug abuse, mental illness, neglect, or abuse, have an increased risk of negative future outcomes related to mental and physical health. These children also suffer significant cognitive and emotional ramifications of the abuse they experience. Example, small prefrontal cortexes, the decision-making area of the brain, smaller hippocampi, the memory center of the brain, and hyperactive stress responses. Kids grow up in poverty also face significantly higher levels of crime, violence, incarceration, lack of parental supervision, drug use, and sexual and physical abuse. All this evidence may seem overwhelming for people who aren't lucky enough to have hit the social lottery. It can make people ask, am I just doomed to live at the level of my peer group? He does paint a really bleak picture, doesn't he? The answer is an unequivocal and resounding no. Turns out that high performance is not tied to your culture or social environment. That's because high performance, as you'll remember, is about the long game. And over time, you can take back your life from negative influences and direct your mind habits and social environment toward high performance. This isn't just rah-rah stuff. Research has consistently shown that people can rise above their cultural programming and influence it if they have the right beliefs and strategy. Simply adopting the belief that you can improve with effort, for example, has helped kids in disadvantaged neighborhoods go from terrible scores to the top of their class in study after study. A recent study of over 168,000 10th graders helps us prove the point. Researchers collected data related to students' academic achievement, social economic status, and beliefs about their ability to improve with effort. As you might predict, students from higher social economic strata performed significantly better than students from low-income families. This relationship, however, was offset in children who believed they could improve with effort. In fact, children who came from the lowest 10% socioeconomically yet believed in their ability to improve performed as well as kids in the top 20% who believed their abilities were unchangeable. This means that the economic gap and all the negative factors that often accompany low economic status such as higher stress, or schools, poor nutrition, were largely erased in children who believed they could improve with effort. Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? Is that how it goes? Scientific research consistently shows that certain people maintain their strength even when the environment or culture around them is less than ideal. The difference is how they think. This means that with or without social support, you can use your thoughts to improve your mind, mood, memory, reactions, happiness, and performance. None of us is shackled to our past or environment. We have tremendous personal control over the factors that improve our lives and performance. Yep, cookies. Cookies really help. And I eat lots of them. Helps a lot. I share this because too many people think they can't win without the ideal peer group. So before I tell you to improve your peer group, don't for 1 second think you can't improve your life on your own. But friends? Help? Didn't you tell me something about friends and loneliness? Social support just makes personal development and overall life success easier, faster, and more enjoyable. Okay, that makes sense. For all these reasons, high performers spend more time with positive people than with negative people. They are more strategic and consistent in seeking to work with others at or above their level of competency, experience, or overall success. They seek networking activities or group affiliations with more successful people. At work, they communicate more with people who are more experienced and often above them on the organizational chart. In their personal lives, they volunteer more, spend less time in negative or conflict-ridden relationships, and ask for help from their more successful peers than others do. So, I really, really want to share. At one of my jobs, I connected with 2 people at the other offices that were the best at what they did at their office. I got better. I got so good that in 3 months I got to train them on something new that I learned in the system. So it's really magical how you can grow together. And like, if you're out of negative and conflict-ridden relationships, you have the energy to expend on things you love. And you're not like constantly trying to fix or change something. It's really great. Okay, this doesn't mean that high performers have gotten rid of all the negative or challenging people in their lives, because we still have parents and other relatives. Somewhere, there's this myth that to be happy or succeed, you have to get rid of all negative people in your life. We hear things like, if someone doesn't support your dream, dump them as a friend. Your spouse doesn't cheer you on and meet your every need, get a divorce. The kids at school don't like your son, change schools, because all of that's really practical. This is half-baked advice. Is it half? I don't even think it's half-baked. I think it's like 1/4, if not less than that. Learning to live with people who are different from you and who challenge you is just part of becoming a mature and resilient adult. Huh, who wants that? Cat bombed. Cutting people out of your life just because they're not a bright and shiny ray of light all day, every day, will only result in you alone on an island talking to coconuts. Damn, we've had really good conversations, me and those coconuts. Everyone has bad days. Everyone struggles in life. Not everyone needs to cheer you on every step of the way. We need to accept and not bail on everyone who isn't in a cheery mood all the time. But, like, Pollyanna, I could just hang out with Pollyanna all the time. I would punch her after a while. Just not realistic. Your family, friends, and coworkers are going to have a lot of bad days, and a lot of their attitude towards you has nothing to do with you. That explains a lot. They are in their own world and going through difficulties. Most people have their lives affected by a mental illness. Most of your friends will come and go in your life. This idea of just swiping people out of our lives isn't mature or reasonable. Sometimes love equals compassion and patience. I buy my patience in bulk at Costco. It's very helpful. Build what you need. Make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive, nourishing, and uplifting people. People who believe in you, encourage you to go after your dreams, and applaud your victories. Jack Canfield. Still, you don't need to spend extraordinary amounts of time or give tremendous mindshare to negative people. People on a path of purpose don't have a lot of time for drama. So here's what I advise. Instead of getting rid of all of the negative people in your life, especially if they are family, friends, loyal peers, or those who are just in need, spend more time hanging with your positive and successful peers. And B, building a new positive peer group. So A is hanging out with your positive and successful peers. You can give your time to the drama and the conflict of telling people they aren't what you need or want in life, or you can use that same time to build a new circle. Circles. Tear down relationships or build new ones? I'd focus on building. Also, when I address the excuse, I hear all the time, especially from young people, they have no access to successful people. That's almost always an unexplored personal belief, not a reality. In fact, in a globally connected world, it's a pretty thin argument to say you don't have access to somebody, somewhere, who you can learn from, collaborate with, work for, or follow to advance your life. The real question isn't whether they exist, it's whether you're willing to do the work to find them, contact them, hound them, or work hard enough to rise until you get in their orbit. How do you do that? Here's my go-to list for helping someone get around a more successful peer group. 1. Add one more awesome friend. To make a difference in your life, you don't need dozens of new friends. You need one more positive person who brings out the best in you. So you find your most positive and successful friend and ask him to bring one or two of his friends to your next night out. Then start hanging with them a little more often. Just a half an hour more per week. One more positive person leads you one more step toward the good life. 2. Volunteer. This is always my first move in working with people who feel surrounded by negative people. Volunteers are spirited, positive people. They are givers. You want to be around that spirit of service for your own personal and spiritual development anyway. You always want to be around volunteers because they tend to be more educated and successful people. People with higher levels of education are more likely to volunteer than those with less education. In the United States, almost 40% of those over the age of 25 who have a bachelor's degree or higher volunteer. That compares with 26.5% of those with some college or an associate's degree, 15.6% of high school graduates, and only 8.1% of those with less than a high school diploma, often the people who staff nonprofit organizations, especially at the board and commitment levels, are the richest people in a community. Why did we have to listen to all those stats? Why did I read that? I don't really understand. They're there. That's all I need to know. But volunteering isn't just about getting around richer or more educated people. It's about serving others and developing the kind of empathy and spirit of service required to deal with all your relationships in life. If you have a negative person who keeps getting under your skin, the perspective you gain about the world through volunteering might help you chill out. I think when you volunteer, you really get clarity on your commitment to others. And that would be a good reason to volunteer. But it's just me. I want to school this man. Alright. I'm going to go to the bottom of 68 and then finish the video from 69 to 75. Okay, to find greater volunteer opportunities in your hometown, start by asking your friends. You'd be surprised how many already volunteer. Also look up your town's name and volunteer. And you'll see plenty of options, and do it this week. When you meet more people who strive to make a big difference in the world, it makes a big difference in yours. You can also check out Volunteer Match, and it's kind of like a job posting board for volunteers, so you can pick like skill sets or organizations you want to support. It's really cool. 3. Play sports. Join the intramural league. Visit that racquetball club. Get that golf membership. Hit the park and join more pickup games. Being in competitive situations teaches you to pay more attention to your performance, and as we've learned, Self-evaluation of performance promotes increased performance. Maybe ego stroking too. Competition can bring out the best in us when we view the process of competing as striving for excellence, personal best, and team contributions. It's only bad or maladaptive performance when all you care about is rank, outcome, or smashing the competition. 4. Seek mentorship. I tell high performers to have 1 or 2 lifelong mentors, older, wiser, highly respected, successful people. I want you to call them once per month. I also want you to have 1 new domino mentor every 3 years. This means someone who has precisely the expertise you need to succeed in your field. You should also call that person every month. These 2 mentors, one for life and another for specific domain experience, will give you extraordinary perspective. To find mentors, start again with your friends and family. Ask, who would I know whose great wisdom and influence who I might be able to learn from? You might find a mentor at your workplace or by doing the actions above, say volunteering or playing sports. You can also type my name and how to find a mentor into YouTube and watch my videos for more ideas.